Pepper Peale is the granddaughter-in-law of the late Norman Vincent and Ruth Peale, founders of the Peale Foundation, which was founded on the idea of positive thinking and how to spiritually grow your faith with positive thinking and actions. The foundation currently helps fund organizations who uphold the same values to what the foundation was based. Please welcome Pepper Peale.
Well, welcome, Pepper. We're so glad that you're here with us. What a joy. You know, it's been such an interesting time for us. Well, first, welcome. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. That hymn was fantastic.
Yeah, you know, this is an interesting time for us as a ministry because this is the 50-year anniversary. And, you know, even being a Schuller, I've always known your grandfather-in-law. Well, we knew him personally when he was alive, and he was such an important part of our ministry. He had a enormous impact on my grandpa personally through his writing, through his mentoring. And then, of course, the kind of tipping point for our church was when he flew out from New York to California to the drive-in church, you know, when my grandpa was in his 30s. And it was just this explosive response of people. You must have some amazing memories about him and about his message.
I do. Because I am an in-law, I married into the family. So I'm one of the lucky people that knew of Norman Vincent Peale before I knew him.
Yeah.
And so that was really a blessing. And my favorite story is when I was 28, he said to me, well, how old are you today? It was my birthday. And he said, oh, you're just getting started. And I remember thinking I was very old and very wise. And now when I look back, 28 is really just getting started.
It is.
It's such a positive way to look at the world. And he lived that every day.
So that's one of the things you always wonder, you know, some intellectuals, you know, that are humanitarian have this, you know, their family will say they didn't really like people. They liked humanity, but they didn't like individuals. But Norman Vincent Peale wasn't that way. He was really a pastor at heart, wasn't he?
I felt that way, certainly. I felt him, his influence, his joy. I always say about him, he was interesting and interested. Mm-hmm. And probably those two things fed on one another.
I was actually with my grandpa when my grandma told him that Norman Vincent Peale had died. And I remember him weeping and this sad thing on his face. And at the time I think I was 11 or something. I didn't totally understand. But he was really just devastated by that.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. He was a person who affected people deeply worldwide, and just a blessing as part of the family to know that and to raise my children with that history, that influence is really wonderful.
Well, it's so great that we both too are this sort of third generation, sort of helping carry on the legacy of you know, the giants on whose shoulders we're standing on. What's it like for you to sort of be a part of carrying on Dr. Peale's legacy, and do you think how has that message sort of evolved for the 21st century? Do you think it's still palatable today in the way it was in his day?
Oh, I think it is. I think what has turned out, maybe even more recently in the recent past, is that those messages that were conceived of and printed and published and distributed worldwide and preached from pulpits were timely at the time, but they are timeless. We are still struggling with so much of the same issues and the same demons, and the way to help one another is to help one another and to actually do justice and love kindness and to walk humbly, and to do that is a gift, to be able to do that. And that's why, you know, thinking positively is not being Pollyanna. Yeah. It's not acknowledging the negative. It's actually embracing what could be, and how we can help one another. And that's what I believe that the Peale Foundation, is really all about.
How do you think that your grandfather-in-law and your grandmother-in-law, Ruth, I mean, if they were alive today and they wanted to give some sort of matronly or patronly wisdom to this generation, in this time, you think about the pandemic, it's certainly hard to feel positive about anything. I mean, we have no idea what the future holds. It certainly doesn't look good. People are getting sick, and now politics are getting involved in all of this thing, which I think is really unfortunate. And there's just so many layers to this and reasons, just like 101 reasons why people could feel negative about what's going on. What do you think they would say, or what do you think Dr. Peale would say to us right now?
I hesitate to speak on his behalf,
Sure.
but I like to think that he would say, Jesus told us to love one another as you love yourself. And so those two things infer something. One is that you should love yourself.
Yeah.
You are a gift from God. You were created in an image. Love that. And then turn around and love your neighbor as yourself, as you would want to be treated. I often say to people, it's simple, but it isn't easy. And sometimes we have to struggle with being human,
Yeah.
and being human isn't easy. So give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Try to look at things better, and treat someone in a situation, leave it better than you found it.
It's easy to be negative and it's hard to be positive. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
positivity takes effort, and it has a reward. And I think that's one thing that we're learning from your ministry, and we're so grateful for that.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And that's why the Peale Foundation feels really strongly about, I think you and I were discussing about, trying to do online ministry and
Yeah.
having a service when we'd rather be in the pews with our friends. We'd rather be together. But knowing that it's good for other people, it's
Yeah.
a gift. You're doing something wise and loving for somebody else. So the idea for us is to drive people to be on social media and to use a hashtag that we've come up with called Ever Positive.
Now that's launching
we're
this
not trying
week,
to-
isn't it? I wanted to talk to you about that. We're really excited
Yes,
about
it's
this.
actually-
It's just starting.
We're just starting, and the hope is that people will, wherever they are on social media, because we're all social distancing,
Yeah.
and we probably have more time on social media, to post something positive. Shoot a quick video, maybe a meme that you love, a Bible verse, maybe it's just pictures of your kids, whatever it is that's helping you get through a really difficult time, and use the hashtag EverPositive. And the hope is that it will help you yourself feel better because you're concentrating on something positive in your own life. Maybe it helps the people that you're commenting around and for, your family, your loved ones. And who knows, it might even affect somebody you don't even know on the other side of the world. Grandpa Peale published more than 40 books that are published in all sorts of languages and still being published today. You can download, we have an app that you can hear him preaching from the pulpit at Marble Collegiate Church. With timeless messaging. Do that. Use this time to use the Ever Positive hashtag. And I would invite you to do the same thing. Bobby, we would love to have how you and your family are getting through this tough time. It's hard.
We have lots of people watching live on YouTube and Facebook, and now would even be a great time to put something out there positive as you're watching the service, and just type hashtag Ever Positive. Pepper Peale, thank you so much. We are just so grateful for what you're doing and excited about the future of the Peale Foundation. We know it's in great hands.
Thank you so much. And if anybody has questions about the Peale Foundation, they can visit us at pealefoundation.org. We'd welcome anything they'd like to share.
Pepper Peale and pealefoundation.org. That was like a tongue twister, like Peter Piper, you know?
I know, I'm so sorry.
We're so thankful that you were here today, and thank you for reminding us about the importance of staying positive in our thinking and our mindset in this time. I think it's going to make the difference between victory and failure for so many people.
We certainly hope so. And thank you so much for your ministry. All God's blessings on you.
Thank you, Pepper. God bless you. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.